Joining us this morning and some really exciting stuff going on. First of all, my friend in studio, my colleague, born and raised in LA, grew up in Tacoma, Washington, and she's worked in salons all ever since high school. She's a cosmetologist. She's worked in several different states and is the owner of Sun Goddess Beauty Center. She's dedicated the last 20 years of her career to natural texture, hairstyles, and barbering, among other things. Patrice Simmons, good morning.
Thank you. Good Grand Rising.
Grand Rising indeed.
Yes.
Just getting that mic a little closer to your face. We are
Thank
also
you.
live on YouTube. Joining us by phone, a professionally trained cinematographer, award-winning producer, director, media consultant, and so much more. She has an award-winning film called My Nappy Roots, A Journey Through Black Heritage. It's a feature-length documentary, and she is part of Nappy Wood Hair and Lifestyle Expo. Regina Kimball, good morning.
Good morning to everyone. Thanks for having me.
Welcome, welcome. So what we do in Wealth Building Wednesday, besides from providing opportunities, letting people connect with opportunities for their businesses, their networking, all the things that we need information on, is uplift Black-owned, BIPOC-owned, women-owned businesses and initiatives. And you guys have all of that going on.
Yes.
Patrice, you have Sun Goddess. So let's start with the small and move to the large, or the medium and move to the large. Sun Goddess Salon is where?
Sun Goddess Beauty Center is located in the city of Gardena.
And I know I've seen much of your work, beautiful twists and just hair that's loved up on
Yes.
in its natural state.
Yes, in its natural state. I've been a cosmetologist now for over 40 years almost. It's a long time. And, I started out like everybody else in the 80s. We were doing curls. And so we would do curls 24 hours a day, just about. I was in
Wow.
high school, so I was a youth, so I had the energy to keep up with the owner of the salon that I worked in Tacoma, Washington. And so, when I finished, I was like, oh, I'm never doing another curl again. But after I got my license, of course, that's what everybody wanted. So, I had to do that. But over the years and living in all these different states, I noticed, the problems that we began to have with chemicals, with the relaxers. And I wore a relaxer for over 20 years. And when I began to experience some of the problems that my clients were experiencing, I'm like, okay, now it's time for me to make a change. And I've always been a health-orientated person. And so I always wanted to do what's best, for my body, holistically, just for my body. And so I knew that I had to go natural. And then I went natural, but then I wore color. I was wearing the red and copper tones for almost 20 years. And then now I'm, a mature woman, and I'm starting to experience some thinness. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to stop coloring. So during the pandemic, I stopped coloring my hair. And so now I'm just, enjoying my lovely salt and pepper.
And what's amazing is you still look like you're about 30. So I don't
Thank
know
you.
how you do that, but then more on that later. And Regina, of course, you're a filmmaker, but your love and interest in women's hair and people's well-being kind of makes that a crossover business for you. So tell me about your own, I guess, business as an artist, as a filmmaker, and then we'll cross over into Black Sunday and
Yes.
Nappy Wood.
Okay, great. So I guess the first thing I want to say is that I grew up with probably traumatized about my hair. That's where I grew up. I wasn't, in the hair industry. My hair would not grow past my shoulder. I wonder what was going on. I, of course, later figured that out. But I grew up as one of those people that just, black hair. My hair was not empowering for me when I grew up as a little girl. But fast forward, I found my voice. It's been like 15 years almost. I created this film called My Nappy Roots, A Journey Through Black Heritage. Even though it's been 15 years, the history remains the same. The documentary celebrated the journey of black hair. It examined like over 400 years of black hair legacy. through the culture, societal, and political issues that relate to specifically the African American community and hair. But what happened when I created that film, it actually was a film that was created by myself while I was mentoring my daughters. So it's sort of a mother-daughter project that we initially did for the NAACP Expo program. But as I went into doing the feature version of the film, we got a lot of exposure. We won a lot of film festivals, international film festivals, and through the relationship of, the films and all of the business leaders that I met, it had a direct relationship to the birth of Nappywood and the Natural Expo.
Okay, so just taking this in parts, because usually, it's just that you guys got a lot going on. If people want to track you, track the film, and that side of your work, how can they do that?
Well, the best thing to do is to come to our website, the Nappywood website, nappywood.com, and then you can reach us there, or you can come to Instagram to Nappywood LA, and you can always reach me there.
Okay, cool. And I should have asked the same of you about the Sun Goddess Beauty Center.
Sun Goddess Beauty Center on Facebook. You can reach me there, or Sun Goddess Beauty Center in Gardena. The number is 310-367-8062. All
right, so we know we can find you on socials. Now, these two pioneering women when it comes to beauty, health and wellness, and self-image, which are super hot topics for our community, are coming together, and you have something going on this weekend. Tell me about Black Sun Day.
Well, Black Sunday is an extension of our Nappywood Hair Expo. This is our first time coming back together after the pandemic. We've been known in the Los Angeles area for doing our Nappywood Hair Expo. We were at the LA Reef. We've done a Waves and Curls at the beach, which was my favorite. I mean, we had the yoga and, just all the outdoor volleyball activities going on. And so now we're coming back to promote Shop Black, Black Sunday. This is, we're getting into our Kwanzaa frame of mind and our frame of thinking now, and we're purchasing gifts and things like this for our family and friends. So we want to promote small Black entrepreneurs, other businesses to come in, and we buy and shop Black.
And Regina, what will you add to that? Well, I love that you guys are doing this live in person, but also on Zoom, because some folks aren't not comfortable coming out yet. Regina, talk to me about Black Sunday and what you guys are doing and how it relates to Nappywood.
Okay, so I'll back up a little bit to Nappywood. So Patrice is right. Black Sunday is a little bit of Nappywood. So Nappywood is when I think about it, Nappywood is like a safe space for all of us to empower us and to support each other and to uplift the village. So when we decided to come back, because we've been dark since the pandemic, we decided to come back. We wanted to focus on, do little exclusive events focusing on Black-owned salons, Black-owned barbershops, Black-owned venues. So each Nappywood, we're going to continue them through the year. Each Nappywood, we are going to a Black-owned salon, of course, Sun Goddess Beauty Center, of course, Patrice's, and that's the first place you're going. And in addition to being at a Black-owned salon, we are going to have some little mini workshops. I'm happy to go over those later if you like.
We probably won't have a chance to go over those, but you can look. I'm sure they'll be on the website, right, on the nappywood.com.
Yeah, or on our Instagram. So probably the big thing is on this particular Black Sunday, I as it's evolved, I kind of feel like the Black men need a little self-care right now. There's a lot happening with our Black men. We need to support them. They need self-care. And even though barbering is not only for men, there are a lot of women who are barbers, such as Patrice. Our focus on this Black Sunday is that we have a Black Sunday special, which is a $10 haircut. And so if what barbers are charging these days, you know that is like probably a $19.99 deal. So we are featuring several barbers, King Cut. We have YK, the barber, who actually just won a fade contest like only a month ago. But we are featuring the $10 haircut. We're going to have the little mini workshops like we're known to have. One of the ones, I'll just mention one, is that we have Satram from Unique International, and she's going to tell us exactly how to create a natural kitchen using medicines. Like when you think about your grandmother and great-grandmother, they didn't have all these pharmaceutical things in their house. They had herbs and tinctures and botanicals, and she's going to break that down and tell us exactly what we need.
Okay, well, it sounds like you guys have a lot going on. I'm going to suggest that people stop by, as you said, the Instagram, NappyWoodLA or nappywood.com. Give a call to 310-367-8062, 310-367-8062, or follow Sun Goddess Beauty Center on Facebook. Time flies when you're on the radio. Regina, just real quick, what do you want to leave us with today?
Ooh, what I want to leave us with. I think it's important that we support our community. So, going out and buying small, buying local, seeing the dollars circulate in our community, seeing, embracing our children in our community, empowering them, through mentoring. I think that's everything that we represent. We really hope to see this out Sunday.
All right. It's all focused on Sunday, whether it's in Zoom or in person. I'm sure you can send people the Zoom link if they reach out. Yes. Patrice Simmons, what do you want to share?
I just want to share just positivity, peace, and love. We have to love one another. We are all we have, and we have to support one another and, like she said, circulate our dollars with each other. We're all we got.
So it's the return of Nappy Wood, and it sounds like it's Nappy Wood in phases. This one, Black Sunday experience, is December 4th, this coming Sunday at Sun Goddess Beauty Center from 1 to 6 in person, or you can go virtual on the Zoom, and you're going to reach out and get that Zoom information. Patrice Simmons and Regina Kimball, congratulations to you guys.
Thank you, Dominique.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
It's KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Maisha Cairo here for KBLA Talk 1580. We're live in Los Angeles at JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. And I'm speaking to some of the attendees today to see why it was so important for them to be here.
Yeah, this is Lathan and Tyler. Main reason that's very important for me to be here is just to leave a legacy for my kids. Black wealth, generational wealth is what we need in our community, Oh, Chase, someone has to take the lead. They're showing, big business like Chase cares, and, they're putting their money where their mouth is at, So it's good to see, big institution like Chase, giving a lifting hand, to the community. And, you got to respect that. It makes me want to bank with Chase and, give them, another look if I go to another institution. I actually see what Chase is doing for the community.
That's right. Chase is doing their part to help advance Black wealth. For more money support, tune in every day from 12 to 2 to KBLA Talk 1580's Midday Money Chain, right here.
Congratulations to this week's KBLA Talk 1580 Office of the Week, LA County Department of Children and Family Services. LA County Department of Children and Family Services promotes child safety and well-being by partnering with communities to strengthen family. Congratulations, LA County DCFS.
Smooth skin begins with hydrating ingredients. Olay Hyaluronic Body Lotion nourishes your skin with all-day hydration for deeply moisturized results that give you confidence like buttery soft shoulders like, and visibly smooth skin like. Quench your skin with nourishing moisture from Olay Hyaluronic Body Lotion. Try Olay Hyaluronic Body Wash too, and get skin your face will envy.
It's pro time because at Lowe's, it's Provember. Save big with inventory you can count on, like Flex products or DeWalt Power Tools starting at just $99. Plus, Lowe's MVPs members earn up to 3 times bonus points per dollar on select items. Save all Provember long. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. MVP's Pro Rewards program. Terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/L/Pro Loyalty terms. Subject to change. Prices valid from 10/17/22 to 2/3/23 or until supplies last.
Four racial arsonists set LA City Hall on fire. And everybody is running out of the building straight to KBLA Talk 1580.
I am pleased to welcome LA City Councilman Mike Bonin to this program. Councilman, how are you, sir?
Hello. Thank you, Tavis.
Councilmember Curran Price, good to have you on, sir. How are you today?
I'm well, Tavis. Thank you. Good to be with you and your listeners.
I am pleased to have LA City Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez on this program. How are you today, ma'am?
Good morning, Tavis.
Councilman O'Farrell, good to have you on, sir. How are you today?
Thank you so much, Tavis. So glad to join you this morning.
Councilman Koretz, welcome to this program, sir. How are you?
I'm honored to be on your show. Still in shock from the events of the last few days.
Marquise Harris Dawson, good morning.
Good morning, Dominique, and good morning to the KBLA family.
Councilmember Heather Hutt, good morning.
Good morning, Dominique.
I am pleased to welcome the new president of the LA City Council, Paul Kerkoyan. Mr. President, how are you, sir?
Good morning, Tavis. I'm well. Thank you very much.
Holding all politicians accountable to you. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Indeed, and I did want to touch on something we were talking about on yesterday with Black Lives Matter grassroots, because of the election cycle and so much going on, I haven't really had a chance to break this down. And by the way, if you want to call in, this is a great time, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. So we were talking about the case of Jaheim McMillan, and I know you've heard me touch on it here and there, but we really haven't gone into detail, and the detail includes what is happening right now with this case during the holiday shopping season, what Patrice Simmons was referring to, whether it's Kwanzaa or Hanukkah or Christmas or whatever, we tend to shop a lot right now. So this particular case is from Gulfport, Mississippi. Happened last month. Police were called about some 911 call. The people were supposedly brandishing firearms. When the police got there, those folks tried to run away, and the police just opened fire. They claimed that, as usual, that someone pointed a weapon and they were in danger. There's no evidence of that. No weapon has emerged so far. 15-year-old Jaheim McMillan was shot in the head and died at the hospital after being taken off of life support. And protests are ongoing in Gulfport, Mississippi. The story is all too familiar, right? Young man, a child really, 15 years old, shot in the head. Now the police department refusing to release the footage. The FBI has taken over an investigation of this and reportedly says they will not release any footage until the investigation is over sometime next year. And as usual, they'll try to wait and see if the community anger dies down. The community continues to protest. Black Lives Matter grassroots on the scene there in Mississippi. But the call from the family of Jaheim McMillan, including his aunt, Natasha Boyd, who spoke with a group of black media on yesterday, which was Black Lives Matter grassroots call. This was actually moderated by our own Danny Morrison, who did an excellent job at that. They're asking for us to boycott the Dollar Tree and Dollar Family. Dollar Tree was the scene, or Dollar Family, I guess it's called back there, was the scene of where it's called Family Dollar. I think I've been told they have one here. I haven't seen it. I see Dollar Tree, but I won't be going in. Because Family Dollar called the police because there was, a so-called disturbance, and then quickly cleaned up the scene, got rid of the blood without any acknowledgement of what happened, opened right up, and has, according to the family, refused to deal with their demands, which include handing over the security footage from the store so the family can find out exactly what really happened, and also changing their policy so that they're not calling the police when no one's life is in danger. If there's not a life and death situation, BLM grassroots and the family want them to agree not to call the police. If it's, just let the store security deal with it if it's not something life-threatening. And you remember the boycott of 24-hour fitness, right? Because when these businesses allow the police to come in and kill customers, i.e. black people, when it's not a life-threatening situation, that's a problem. Those are policies that need to change. Our lives are more important than your Family Dollar items. So right now, during the holiday season, the family is calling for this boycott, and I just wanted you to be aware of it because there's been so much going on with the election and such that we really sometimes don't focus. And I know one of the things that I always talk about is how during the case of Trayvon Martin, or even if you think back to the Janus 6 or even Michael Brown, the reason that these stories went into the mainstream media is because we put them there. We marched, we protested, we posted on social media. We called these outlets and said, hey, what are you doing about Jaheim McMillan? I'm bringing us obviously forward to 2022 because we become the drivers of our own news cycle. And sometimes during elections, and we do have some big stories right now. I do want to talk about the Oath Keepers leader who was convicted on yesterday of conspiracy, seditious conspiracy. It's a big deal. But we also have to remember that we don't just allow ourselves to be dragged along by the news cycle. We also have to be drivers of our own narrative. And that means the mainstream media has pivoted off of covering black people being killed by police. Oh, that was so 2020. We're not talking about George Floyd anymore. That's you. If we force them to say his name, to say Jaheim McMillan, if we force accountability, if we force the news cycle to cover these issues, it will happen. Because we progressives, we black people, we people of color, BIPOC people, we are the biggest consumers and we have a huge, huge impact in terms of our dollars spent. So let's boycott Family Dollar. Let's boycott Dollar Tree. Let's stand with the family of Jaheim McMillan and let's force the mainstream media to follow our lead and cover the stories that we need answers on. That's my challenge to you today. We've got news, traffic, and sports, and then more on KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Mike Moore, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. House Democrats are expected to elect a new leader today. California Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi is stepping down as the party's House leader. Democrats are expected to elect 52-year-old Hakeem Jeffries to take her place. Jeffries has been in Congress since 2013 and is a member of the Congressional Black Caucus. Now, if elected, he'd be the first black person to hold a top party leadership position in the House or Senate. People are buying things. The number of shoppers in store and online this Black Friday weekend is hitting a record high. The National Retail Federation says close to 200 million went shopping from Thanksgiving Day to Cyber Monday. That's up from 179 million last year. It started tracking numbers in 2017. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
NetSpend All Access. Get the mobile banking account with perks that add up. Banking services provided by an account established by Pathward N.A. Member FDIC. Deposit account opening is subject to registration and ID verification. Terms and costs apply.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
USC is on the doorstep of making their first appearance in the 9-year history of the Division I college football playoffs. The 11-1 Trojans moved up to number 4 in this week's playoff ranking. All the Trojans have to do is beat Utah on Friday in the Pac-12 Conference Championship game in Vegas. The 3 teams above the Trojans, Georgia, Michigan, and Texas Christian. More good news for the Trojans. Sophomore quarterback Khalid Williams has emerged as the frontrunner for the Heisman Trophy Award. Norman Powell scored 22 of his 32 points in the fourth quarter to spark the Clippers to a 118-112 win at Portland. The Lakers play Portland tonight at Crypto.com. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. This sports report was brought to you by MVP Accident Attorneys. When it comes to your settlement, we're a slam dunk. Call 833-MVP-WINS or check their website at themvp.com for a free case review.
When you're the victim of a car accident, hiring the right law firm can be the difference between a rewarding settlement and striking out. Call the pros at MVP Accident Attorneys at 833-MVP-WINS for your free consultation.
Call on me, your MVP.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in celebrating the season of giving by being part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours. Now through December 20th, all of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net, and together we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
Man, I slept.
New ZzzQuil Pure Z's Restorative Herbal Sleep is made for people who are tired of being tired.
I've never slept like this before. I've never woken up like this before.
A melatonin-free sleep aid made with a botanical blend that contains clinically studied and effective valerian root, hops, and passion flower, shown to help promote better restorative sleep. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Restorative Herbal Sleep. Sleep this good, feel this good. Available at retailers near you.
On Saturday, December 3rd, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., come out and enjoy a free community health fair, co-sponsored by Pleasant Hill Baptist Church Health Ministry and the Central Neighborhood Health Foundation. The fair will be held on the church grounds at 2009 West Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, with free health screenings, refreshments, jumpers for the kids, a visit from Santa, entertainment with a DJ, free food giveaway for the first 100 people who attend, as well as raffles and other prizes. There will also be open enrollment health insurance representatives present. Attendees can get free blood pressure, glucose, HIV and STD testing, a dental screening, fluoride varnish, COVID testing, vaccines and boosters. Flu shots will also be offered. Housing navigation, mental health support, and education services will be available. Don't miss this free community health fair. Tell somebody and receive the gift of preventative health services this season. See you all on Saturday, December 3rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 2009 West Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in Los Angeles.
KBLA Talk 1580.
The thrill of victory. The thrill of victory. Thrill of victory. Yeah, man.
KBLA Talk 1580 wishes to congratulate Mayor-elect Karen Bass on her historic win as the first woman and only second African-American to serve as Chief Executive of the City of Los Angeles.
Congratulations, Mayor-elect Bass, and welcome back to Unapologetically Progressive KBLA Talk 1580.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the show. And this is my very first interview, and I am proud that it's here.
We are proud to have you here. What do you want to say to the listeners of KBLA Talk 1580?
I want to say thank you from just, I'm just full of the love that I felt every place I went in the community. And I just want the listeners to know that I promise you I won't disappoint you. I will be accessible. I will never forget where I'm from, and understand that is my primary motivation.
Congratulations, Mayor-elect Karen Bass, holding all leaders accountable to you.
No matter who you voted for, no matter who you are or where you live, I will be a mayor for you.
We're KBLA Talk 1580. Talk 1580. Talk 1580. And we don't black down. We've got a lot to talk about. Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio, KBLA Talk 1580.
So what's good? What's good? We always try to focus on that, and I feel like there's so many good things happening right now. The activism. Of course, I was talking about the very horrifying story of Jaheim McMillan and how he was killed by police in Mississippi. The good side of that story, if there is such as that, is the fact that we have African-American organizations, progressive organizations coming together on a boycott, a national boycott of Dollar Tree and Family Dollar. The fact that the African-American press convened in a way that was very, very significant in order to cover this story and to start looking at ways that we can be the drivers of our own narrative. And so these are the kinds of things that I like to remind us. There is activism. There is movement. As we covered very briefly at the beginning of the show when attorney Areva Martin called in, the case that she has brought forth with African American and Latino families who were burned out and bulldozed out of Palm Springs in the 1950s, now stepping forward, looking for their reparation or restitution, as we saw in the case of Bruce's Beach. And this is an example of what I hope is a domino effect, and I believe it is. Talking with Kavon Ward and her organization, Where's My Land, they have dozens of people who have reached out to them, and at least 3 or 4 of those cases are cases they've taken on that have reached out to them since the success in the return of Bruce's Beach to the Bruce family. And we know how there are similar kinds of stories with eminent domain for freeways or people being redlined, pushed out, terrorized out of communities, the submerging of black communities and black wealth under lakes, the race riots that we've experienced as the victims, which this country doesn't like to talk about. All of these are aspects of our past which can be repaired and healed with actual concrete restitution. Not just I'm sorry and then I don't give you back your stuff. The example I used with disgraced council member, racist council members De Leon and Cedillo. You don't get to say sorry, but I'm keeping all the things I stole from you. You don't get to say sorry, but I keep taking taxpayers' money. You don't get to say sorry, but I keep Palm Springs to myself. There is something called restitution, reparation. And so I think it's important that this is continuing to spread. And attorney Areva Martin's representation of these dozens of African American and Latino descendants of family members of those who had their places of residence stolen from them, removed from them, had themselves basically terrorized out of being part of that community is just another example. So while the story itself that requires the restitution is sad, the movement, which is even making it possible to not just talk about reparation, not just dream of restitution, but for checks to be written, commissions to be convened, and etc. Someone called into this show a couple days ago saying that they wondered, it was Carl from LA, wondering if Mayor-elect Karen Bass would continue the reparations commission of the city of Los Angeles. And cities across the country dozens of cities have now put in place their own reparations commissions. And yes, of course she'll continue it. There's no way she'd back off of progress. That's what being a progressive means. You take progress and you push the line. You don't just go along with the status quo. And you definitely don't go backwards. That's the whole secret of Make America Great Again, is that it's all about going backwards. We don't go backwards. In the words of Kwame Nkrumah, it's forward ever, backward never. So that's the good news. The fact that we're seizing on these tragedies, our historical knowledge, our understanding, the growing consciousness of our country's electorate, and really the world, which is the wokeness that conservatives are so afraid of, because wokeness, which is actually a beautiful gift to the world, includes knowing history. I didn't know about this in Palm Springs, did you? I didn't know that a black and brown community was burnt down and bulldozed under the authority of the city in order to keep Palm Springs, well, white and affluent. It's actually very, very reminiscent of what happened with Bruce's Beach. Because the city of Manhattan Beach, you go there, I go there, it's a beautiful city, I roller skate past it or whatever on the path, but you think, wow, this is really white. And you think, well, maybe it happened by accident. We just didn't move there, or, maybe it was redlining or housing covenants. But when you find out it was a campaign of terror to intentionally remove us from these spaces, the response is, okay, restitution, okay, reparation, okay, progress. And that's a good thing. The response is not anger, defeat, being demoralized. No, the response is being energized and saying, just like the Bruce family, we too want the answer to the question, where's our land? Where's our property? Where's our stuff? Apologies are nice. I prefer checks. I've always said that. Those of you who've listened to me over many a microphone know that. Whether it was, Paula Dean or Don Imus or whoever's making a terrible statement, Donald Trump, I don't just need I apologize. I need I apologize, and now there's a scholarship funded in perpetuity by me at Rutgers University, if you're Don Imus. You see what I'm saying? Even if he never apologized, if he just said, here's $1 million for scholarships because I called you nappy-headed, and so I'm going to make you well, make you whole with money. Now the interest on that, or whatever, the endowment is, creates a scholarship every year for a black woman there. That to me is much more appropriate than a simple sorry. And I don't know what that looks like for a Kevin De Leon. I really don't know what it looks like for a Donald J. Trump. But it has to be something which is more than just, I'm sorry. Sorry. I need an action word. I need action and money to accompany that conversation. You know what else I'm excited about that I don't know why I forgot to mention? Karen Mack will be joining us in studio the next hour, talking about action, talking about coalition, talking about what's good and how we move together to make change. I'm looking forward to that. She'll be joining us next hour along with Robin Toma, Executive Director of the LA County Human Relations Committee. So when we come forward, let's take a little look. I'm sure you've heard by now that Stuart Rhodes and others from the Oath Keepers white supremacist organization have been found guilty of seditious conspiracy, serious charges. If you're not familiar, we'll talk a little bit about what happened. And if you are familiar, let's talk about what it means for America, what it means for white supremacy, what it means for you and me. Love to hear your thoughts on this. Whatever else is top of mind for you at 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima, and this is First Things First on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Yvonne Wheeler appointed new president of the LA County Federation of Labor. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News, brought to you by CaliforniaBlackMedia.org. November 21st made it official. Yvonne Wheeler was elected the new president of the Los Angeles County Federation of Labor. The historic unanimous vote by her peers makes Wheeler the first ever Black woman to hold the title, and this makes her one of the most influential people in Los Angeles politics. The LA Fed is the second largest central labor body in the nation. It's a federation of over 300 affiliated union and labor organizations that represent more than 800,000 members. LA Fed is known for fighting better wages, establishing respect in the workplace, and the vast political influence their endorsements hold. Wheeler's election comes in the wake of a political scandal involving former LA Fed President Ron Herrera and 3 city council members where they were recorded making racist remarks during a meeting about redistricting. Follow KBLA on social media at KBLA 1580.
Leaving things half done? Not a good option. Like a half-baked peach cobbler.
A gummy crust? I don't think so.
A half-done hairdo.
All done.
Shouldn't the curls be on both sides? Or a half of a domino?
Damn! Big 6!
But where's the other half? Don't go halfway, especially with your immunity to COVID-19. Keep everyone safer this season by staying up to date with your vaccines and boosters. Visit myturn.ca.gov to find one near you. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Congratulations to this week's KBLA Talk 1580 Office of the Week, LA County Department of Children and Family Services. LA County Department of Children and Family Services promotes child safety and well-being by partnering with communities to strengthen family. Congratulations, LA County DCFS.
If you're a Los Angeles Department of Water and Power residential customer, listen to this. LADWP now offers convenient monthly billing through the new Level Pay program. Level Pay helps you budget for your utility bill with a predictable monthly amount that can also include past due balances. You'll know exactly how much you need to pay each month. Don't wait. Sign up today for Level Pay by calling 1-800-DIAL-DWP. That's 1-800-DIAL-DWP.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
So, of course, it's not a Talking Point Tuesday because today is Wednesday, but I'm always about smashing these talking points and undermining the propaganda, at least identifying it so we know that we're under the influence of something intentionally meant to steer us in a certain direction. So the conviction of the founder of the Oath Keepers, named Stuart Rhodes, is important because one of the talking points that I think is the most ridiculous is when people say, Republicans, when I say people, I mean Republicans, say that January 6th was just a normal tourist visit or it was a riot that spontaneously erupted and not an attempted coup. They try to say that it wasn't a coup attempt or that it wasn't a conspiratorial attack on democracy. And I think a jury just resoundingly answered that talking point. This is a federal jury. They found Rhodes guilty of seditious conspiracy, meaning he was part of a plot that unfolded over months, as all those of us who paid attention to the January 6th committee out of Congress already know. A months-long plot meant to inspire political violence, meant to stop President Joe Biden from being sworn in. And this is a total annihilation of a favorite Republican talking point. Now, I know some people will keep saying it because they count on you not to read, not to know, or not to care what the facts are. But this jury, they deliberated for 3 days. They found him, and they also found the Florida lead Oath Keeper named Kelly Meggs guilty of conspiring to oppose by force the lawful transition of presidential power. Now, that's a different charge. So a bunch of people were charged. 5 people were charged, but they didn't all get seditious conspiracy. That was just Stuart Rhodes and Kelly Meggs that got convicted of this. But the thing that makes this super, super important for those of us who hate fascism and don't want the United States to become a fascist, authoritarian, white supremacist nation, officially, is because this is rare. Seditious conspiracy is a charge that is not brought very often historically. It's something that was kind of a bold move on the part of the Justice Department because there was a good chance they would lose, and they did not. They got 2 convictions. It's good news not only because it debunks the talking point that this was a tourist visit or some kind of spontaneous riot. It's also important because it emboldens the Department of Justice to prosecute this, to move forward with these crimes around January 6th on the basis, on the premise that this is a coup attempt, an attempted coup, that this was a conspiracy, that this was, and hopefully this seeps over into the prosecution of the 45th president, that we can stop wondering if it was a conspiracy because a jury has ruled it as such. It is not too late to call me. 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. What's next after this conviction? I'll share that with you and more when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where we turn red lights to green lights and keep it moving. KBLA Talk 1580 wishes you a happy holiday and wants to bless you with one night only. A Wonder Winter's Night presented by Stevie Wonder's House Full of Toys benefit concert. Saturday, December 17th at Microsoft Theater. Download the KBLA Talk 1580.com mobile app to enter to win a pair of tickets. This has been a community call to action brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580.
The Los Angeles Urban League helps African American and others in underserved communities achieve true social parity, economic self-reliance, and civil rights. For over 100 years, Los Angeles Urban League has ensured our communities have access to careers with living wages, opportunities to start and grow businesses, and clear pathways to personal and professional growth. Programs like BizCamp, Construction Career Academy, Bob Business Ready, and B-Warp. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program are examples of the ongoing events designed to make our centennial mission to rebuild Black Wall Street right here in LA a reality. To sign up for our newsletter or to support the Los Angeles Urban League with your time, talent, and donations, visit laul.org. That's laul.org. The Los Angeles Urban League is a proud sponsor of Urban Family Focus, Saturdays at 7 a.m. on KBLA Talk 1580.
Health is Wealth and Medicare and Covered California's open enrollment for medical insurance is here. RHJ Insurance Agency can help you find affordable rates and the plan that's just right for you and your family. Call 562-204-6120 for your free quote. Don't leave your health to chance. Open enrollment is here and affordable coverage is just a phone call away. Call 562-204-6120 for your free quote and get the coverage you need. Go to www.rhjins.com.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 85% water, right?
85% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Ooh, pass me the intercom thingy.
Attention shoppers. If you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Don't pay for water. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods.
Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
Yeah, and speaking of hate meeting its scholarly match, on yesterday, it met its legal match in the U.S. Department of Justice, a huge victory for the DOJ, and it's a victory for anti-fascism because now the Department of Justice will be emboldened. Merrick Garland making the statement that this was a huge and important victory for them, and this can carry up to 20 years in prison for Mr. Rhodes. The other, every single defendant in this case was convicted of something. So they're all going to do some time. But the fact that Rhodes, who's the leader of the Oath Keepers, is looking at up to 20 years, it's serious business. Where do we go from here? Well, next month, we have another similar trial. This is more Oath Keepers, but also one of the leaders of the Proud Boys, this guy, Henry Tarrio, they call him Enrique Tarrio, one of the other groups that former president was saying stand by, stand down, stand by, or whatever he said, basically don't go anywhere. Well, they are also going to be going to trial on seditious conspiracy. And again, as I said, this is a risk for the Justice Department because if they would have failed, then the far right would take that as a victory and say, see, it wasn't a conspiracy, which would have been pretty unbelievable when you consider the fact that this guy Rhodes and his group, the Oath Keepers, had stashed weapons in hotels around D.C. so they can go back and get them when they complete their invasion of the Capitol. Clearly this was going on for months. The fact that we saw Trump, and then Trump, inciting this from the stage, but it was really a call to action for something he already knew was in motion. I think the texts and emails of Ginny Thomas, the wife of the Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, also provide a window into what a widespread conspiracy this really was. So, these folks have been in jail. Tarrio is still in jail. He was arrested in June. This guy who was convicted on yesterday, he was arrested in January. These things also help slow the momentum of these so-called alt-right groups. I say so-called because what's alternative about it? It's the same old tired Nazi rhetoric. It's the same old white supremacist, racist talking points. Just because you're doing them on social media instead of standing in the street hollering, it doesn't make it alt. It only makes it the same thing. Same talking points, different platform. It's good news for democracy. It is also good news for those of us who would love to see the former president of the United States held accountable in a legal way for his part in January 6th, for his part in trying to overturn the election, not only by meddling in Georgia and trying to impact the election results in that state, not only in the fake electors scandal, but also in the attempted coup on the Capitol. And so these things are moving in the right direction, even as we see Republicans take over the House, which means they're going to start wasting taxpayer money by investigating Hunter Biden all day long and will likely do nothing to help the economy, to help protect your voting rights, to help reimagine law enforcement. But at least we see the Department of Justice continuing to move forward and getting momentum, and maybe makes it seem a little less safe to be a Proud Boy, an Oath Keeper, an armed white supremacist. One hopes. News, traffic, and sports. Then we are talking stopping hate, spreading love. LA is for everyone. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Glad you could join us this morning. I'm Mike Moore.